And if you're like most people, you're worried about your financial situation in these unprecedented times. Joining us now live to help us understand how to weather this economic downturn is financial expert and wealth coach Deborah Owens. She's live in Baltimore, Maryland. Thanks for joining us, Deborah.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start talking about retired or people close to retirement, senior citizens. This is especially stressful when they're seeing the stock market, they're seeing losses. What kind of advice can you give them?
Well, the truth is any money that you have that you're going to need within the next 5 years should not have market exposure. So this is a great time for our audience to understand it's time to kind of reassess. When the market's up, everybody's an aggressive investor. But what this really is showing you is that how much risk can I really afford to take? And so people need to think about things are going to get worse before they get better. And if that is true, then it is important that you take a look at how your retirement accounts are positioned and make sure you don't have too much of your investments in the stock market, because in the short term, we probably will see further declines.
What are you thinking that people should do to try to weather this storm? I mean, is there anything that they can do immediately to take care of their needs?
Yes, well, I would say here's what I tell our Wealthy You community is to prepare and don't panic. This too will pass, but the truth is this is not like other financial crises. It's not like 2008. It's not like the stock market crash of 1987. And those were true financial crises. Either people were over leveraged or in the case of the housing market falling down. So the real issue now is this is a health crisis. And so there's a lot of uncertainty. And so in this environment, what I really want to convey to folks is to make sure you have your basic essentials taken care of and that you fully take advantage of the economic stimulus plan that is being put forth, because whatever cash and however much money liquid you can have, the better, because we don't know when all of this will end.
Do you think that people will be able to recover if they have put a little bit of money aside, or they should maybe use the stimulus checks that they're getting?
So here's what I'd say. Here's what I'm telling people in our community is, first, make sure you take full advantage of this economic stimulus plan. So as you just mentioned, most people, unless they're making over, I think it's $99,000 if you're single, or $150,000 or so if you're a married couple, you're going to get that $1,200 check in a couple of weeks. Yes, they're still, I watched the news too and saw that they really don't have all the details figured out, but you know you have that $1,200 coming. If in fact you've been furloughed, then everyone listening to me, you need to file for unemployment, because it doesn't matter if the way they've restructured unemployment is you could have been a independent contractor, receiving a 1099, or you could have been furloughed by your employer. File for unemployment, and you're going to do that in the state that you reside in. The other thing I don't think people are aware of, but in the other portion of the economic stimulus, there is a grant. You can apply for a grant, and you can only apply for that grant if you are a gig employee, you're receiving 1099 compensation. You have to file for the EIDL, or the employee disaster loan. You may not qualify that, but pretty much everyone is going to qualify for that $10,000 grant, which is not a loan, but you have to apply for the loan in order to qualify to receive the grant. And that's $10,000. So key here is make sure that you're taking advantage of every benefit that is coming out of this economic stimulus plan.
Is there one place where you can go to find out what all these plans are? I think sometimes people don't know about it.
That is true. So the best place to go really is sba.gov. But many, so that's the Small Business Administration, so it's just SBA.gov, and then you'll find other links to where you can take advantage of these different programs. But the key is apply, because there is a maximum amount that they're going to, they put so much money in the budget, and once that money's gone, unless they implement something else, that money's going to be gone. So do it right away.
For small businesses, what about the average citizen? Anything out there that they can?
No, that is for the average citizen. So that's what I want to be clear on, right? So it's a little murky.
It does sound like it.
It does sound murky, right? So let's say, well, right now, 40%, the last stat I saw was that 40% of employees are kind of self-employed or in the gig economy. So many people are contractors. You could be driving Uber, where you're getting the key there is you're receiving a 1099. So that's like being a self-employed person, right? So you're not a small business, but you are self-employed. And the way they structured this, that part of the stimulus is you have to apply for this small business loan in order to qualify for that. I think they call it a disaster loan. In order for you to apply for the grant, right? So you may not qualify for that loan, but in order to get that $10,000 grant, you have to apply for the loan.
Ah, that's good advice. That's something that you don't really hear about how exactly that works.
Read the fine print. And I really feel like with all the anxiety that people are feeling about the economy, I certainly, we looked and we saw that another 6 million people filed for unemployment. It's scary. So it's really easy to get distracted in your fear and anxiety, because, let's face it, our basic safety and security is really being, we feel like we're in jeopardy. But at the same time, what I want this audience to understand is, in order for you to really take advantage of whatever resources the government is providing to us, it really is going to take you to require you to be more proactive, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Depending upon what state you're in, you can go into your local bank and they have information on this economic stimulus. You can call your state, you can call your county, and you can call your city government. So now is the time. This is your money, right? These are the taxes that we paid. They're not giving us anything, right? It's sort of like getting a rebate, but in order for us to take advantage of it, it is going to require us to be proactive and ask for help.
What about our senior citizens? They're really being hit hard, especially if in your later years, 70s, 80s. Anything out there for them?
Yes. So the good news is they are going to receive that $1,200 stimulus. They do not have to file taxes. They will consider whatever the Social Security, all the information. Most people are getting that, getting their Social Security check electronically, so they are going to get that check. Also, in the bill, they added more funding for food pantries. So I know at our church we have a food pantry, and so again, take advantage of the benefits that are in this economic stimulus. There have been additional funding for even localities. Many of them were stretched already, but there is additional funding there. So for seniors, take advantage of the stimulus check as well as food pantries, and make sure that you're getting the kind of resources that you need in this very difficult atmosphere we're in.
Absolutely. Wonderful advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Deborah.
Thank you for having me. And as well, if your viewers, if they want to join our Wealthy You community on Facebook, we're giving a lot of those details, providing that as a resource as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.